crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of seas, your sip of celery juice. Celery juice. We are on day 20 of the cleanse. Oh my God. It's felt so good. I am down a little over 20 pounds. It's amazing how it just falls off. If you guys want to do this, Raw21 Reboot is Amy's website. Go check it out. Again, it's just a cleanse. 3 weeks of your life, you're going to eat different things. You're going to eat the things that God invented instead of the pharmaceutical companies and Medicare companies invented to make you sick. So go check it out, Raw21 Reboot. Okay, also, if you're on YouTube, I'm back on YouTube. Tomorrow, all the restrictions are gone, so I got to still kind of watch my language. It's the game that YouTube and I play, and I mean, everybody out there on YouTube knows censorship is massive. Censorship is destroying our country from every way you look. So I'm trying to dance the dance to stay on the more popular social media sites because I think it's important to have this message out there, at least part of the message. You can join the private road to get the the real scoop, or I'm posting on Rumble some of the more controversial stuff. Road to Ruta, all one word. But I think that YouTube's going to turn out like Twitter, and change of management will open up a free place to speak. I don't know when, but it can happen all of a sudden. It happened all of a sudden on Twitter. No one thought Elon Musk could buy Twitter, but he did, and he freed up that marketplace. And I love Twitter these days. It's a great place to post, and there's still some restrictions, but not many. And you can hear both sides of the story now, finally. All right, latest news. I'm going to talk silver. I'm going to talk cryptos. Gary Gensler came out with a new attack. But first, Wall Street on parade. Credit Suisse tanks yesterday to $3.02. It's lost over 90% of its value since 2007, and it's not alone. No, these are the big criminal bankers. They collude, they lie, they cheat. They do all those things with fiat money that Gary Gensler says we're going to be subjected to with cryptos, such as money laundering, such as drug running, such as human trafficking. Yes, Credit Suisse is one of those criminal banks who does all that stuff. And they're under the SEC's and the Federal Reserve and the OCC, and everybody, all the regulators see this in plain sight, but you can't take down one of the banksters. What you have to do is protect them from the crypto people or the gold and silver people. It's ridiculous. So Credit Suisse is about to go down. If Credit Suisse goes down, good night. I mean, it's good night, right? Credit Suisse goes down, they're a too big to fail bank. You're going to lose everything in your checking account, your savings account, your 401k, everything gone. So they'll get bailed out, probably, just to keep the other banks afloat for another couple months. Now is the time, my friends. Silver price, remember, they can click a mouse and put silver at minus $40. They did it with oil. They can do anything because the market price is fake. You have to understand that by now. The market price is fake for silver. How can we get past this? We need to destroy the futures and options for silver. And they're doing it themselves. If you look at the futures and options market, yesterday they traded about 450 million ounces of silver. More than half of the annual mining production and recycling together was traded yesterday, just to keep the price of silver under check. These people are criminal. They've been doing it for so long. They have immunity from the regulators. They have immunity from the government. They have immunity from humanity. All up until the point they don't. 2007 or 2008, the good guy said, okay, we're going to pull the plug. Yes, the Fed was in on it. Absolutely. If you read the Road to Ruta documents, what did Ruta write in the sand? 9/11. Was she talking about the past 9/11? Like I thought originally. I thought she was talking about 9/11 and, that whatever happened then. No, she was talking about 9/11/2008. On 9/11/2008, $500 billion was pulled out of the money market funds, and we were 30 minutes away from every bank and every financial institution on the planet evaporating. That's how fragile this system is. It is totally and completely fragile. Fragile, as they say in A Christmas Story. So keep an eye on Credit Suisse. It's important, but yeah, silver won't be freely traded until the COMEX is gone. And they're doing some big rollover in really early. The March contract, the big banks are rolling it over to May. May after March, May is the next delivery month. So they've been doing it for quite a while now. We're down to only 75,000 contracts, and the March delivery month is still, more than a month and a half, or more than a half a month away. A whole bunch of time to whittle that down. It's true that the COMEX is no longer where the big guys take delivery of silver. They do all these things called EFPs right here, more EFPs right here. Exchange for physical, where they'll exchange contracts with the LBMA, which is a criminal association, not even an exchange, it's an association. So a lot of that's going out of London. Yeah, I don't expect hardly any deliveries on the COMEX, because that's not how people get metal anymore. They'll take delivery of SLV. The silver held in SLV in the past couple of years has gone from 725 million ounces down to 525. So 200 million ounces have come out of SLV in just the last couple of years. That's the way to take delivery of silver. And you can see that in these charts. Now, these are charts of who owns the iShares Silver Trust. And look what these banks have been doing. Now, when the price goes down, when a bank buys SLV, it can take delivery on 50,000 shares and take physical delivery of silver. So Royal Bank of Canada, look, right before 2001, they just started dumping, and now they're at a small amount. But UBS did the same thing, dump SLV. That's how they control the price. They use SLV, they use the COMEX, and here's Citibank, one of the largest criminal riggers. Now, interesting, it went from 13 million ounces down to 0 to control the 2001. That was the silver short squeeze. Clearly, they're trying to suppress the price. And then they've been building ready for another slam, or more likely they took delivery. They could have taken delivery on all this, which is highly likely. And that's a massive amount of silver going into the hands of the banksters. Credit Suisse, the bank we just talked about, look, in January of 2021, they had their highest amount of silver, and now they're down to their lowest amount in SLV. They're either taking delivery or they are closing out their shares, trying to suppress the price. Barclays, the same thing. So it goes round and round with these banks. This is the one that was so important way back in 2001. This was the entity on the good guys side called Private Advisor Group that bought a third of all shares of SLV right here, 191 million shares at the time. I think there was like 600 million shares total. And then they either took delivery or they were probably forced to get out by Rustin Benham. But yeah, that's a massive amount of physical silver. I think it was $3 billion worth of physical silver. So clearly, Private Advisor Group knows something. They know something. And Private Advisor Group, I think, is a whole bunch of rich people, privately managed, so they don't have the same disclosures. Warren Buffett's probably working out of there. So we're going to see, I think we'll see the next silver attack on the banksters, like was done in 2001, is going to happen. Probably Private Advisor Group's going to get buy a third of SLV again. And at that time, most of those shares were naked shorted to stop it. So the likes of JP Morgan, BlackRock, they're the two that run SLV. Yes, the same JP Morgan guy that got fined $920 million for rigging the silver, gold, and treasuries market is actually a custodian of physical metal, of silver for the SLV trust. That's just, the insanity knows no end. Speaking of insanity, Ventress Gibson has decided that she's going to make billions of ounces of silver, Eagles, billions of them. She's just not going to sell them to you. What Andy Scheckman told me the other day, looks like it's true that the U.S. Mint is capping their Silver Eagle sales to the people at 450,000 coins per every 2 weeks. That's what the authorized participants, at least the ones that Andy talked to, were told. They're on allocation for 450,000 ounces every 2 weeks. That is insane. That's illegal. It's corrupt. Ventress Gibson has said on multiple occasions, and I have them all written down, that the U.S. Mint has greatly expanded its Silver Eagle production. And here we have, if it goes like this, I mean, that's only 900,000 per month for 12 months. You're looking at a silver production at a third, again, like last year, a third of capacity. 1/3 of capacity, and the premiums are still skyrocketing $8, $9, $10 over spot price of silver. And when you think silver is only trading at $22, $23, that's just crazy. And it's all because of a person named Ventress Gibson and the orders she's been given by Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell. I don't know if Joe Biden even ever gives the orders anymore, but and Janet Yellen takes her orders from somebody else. So Janet Yellen is a mouthpiece for the deep state, in my opinion. In my opinion, and I've met her, so yeah, not the brightest tack in the box of tacks. All right, let's see. Silver open interest, as you can see right here, it's at 1,200. It's interesting if you look at silver right here. Look at this is the silver warehouses back in 2000. We were topping 1.2 billion ounces, and then ever since then, bang, 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 it has gone down to 700 million. This is the total ounces in the COMEX, both eligible and registered. Now, there is a way to think about this. Well, registered is basically the physical available for delivery on the COMEX, whereas eligible is all the silver held in those warehouses that could possibly, potentially, maybe, kind of, sort of come back into the market, but they were already bought by investors. They're being held by investors in 1,000-ounce bar form, COMEX good form. And a really interesting thing that Ted was talking about, Ted Butler, was that once you put a bar into the COMEX machine and it gets registered and all that, it's hard to take it out unless you're never going to bring it back in, because to bring bars in, it's a nightmare. So you really can't sell you're buying 5 million ounces of silver on the COMEX, you take delivery of that silver, you're going to want to keep it in the warehouse, because if you're going to sell it back in the market as the price rises, you can't. If you take it out of those warehouse, out of the system, it's really almost impossible to do unless you melt it down and sell it for something else. So yeah, really interesting. But you can see, look at the difference. Back in the day, it was registered and eligible were almost even, and then in here in 2001, registered ounces, which is how many ounces that they're going to put on the market, just spiked above. It started spiking in 2011. So before that, it was almost even. But right here, we had a spike of registered. That's because people were taking delivery on the COMEX. That's what freaked out Rustin Benham and all that around 2001. And so at that point, we went down, down, down. And right now, although the eligible ounces are pretty much stable at about 275 million, the registered, the COMEX ounces is tiny. Right now, it is 31 million. So 260 million to 31 million is just crazy. That's crazy. Total contract ounces is for 664 million. That's the open interest. So yeah, lots of exciting things happening in silver. Keep an eye on it. All right. So Gary Gensler came out and said the SEC attacked Kraken for offering yielding tokens, and everybody's construing this as Gary Gensler's going after tokens that are staked. That's not what he's going after. He's going after the exchanges that stake their customer coins, and that's how they get yield. He said, "Hey, you guys have no disclosures." And he said it again in an interview. Oh, you got to come in and work with the SEC. Do not do that if you're in the crypto world. Do not do that. Look what happened to Reggie Middleton. He went in to work with them. They went behind his back, behind his back without telling him to sabotage deals, and they literally shut him down and confiscated 98 million Veritasium tokens. They still have not said what's going to happen to those tokens. They sit in limbo. I think they're waiting for the collapse, and then Reggie's Veritasium will rule the day. Ginny and I talked about this in our latest private road. I'm going to be posting that later today. You guys are going to love that one, especially if you own a hold Veritasium. So she's been tapped into that stream of consciousness for a very long time. And it's in the beginning, she had, Reggie in shackles and he can't get out. This was a blind reading. She didn't even know who Reggie was. And now we are close to him being released and free into the future, which means Cliff High's data on Reggie will come true. Mark my words. Veritasium is very difficult to get. We're giving it away right now on the private road. We give away one Veri token. It's like a lottery ticket. Veri token to subscribers and people who renew. Anyway, Ether losses build as crypto investors weigh the future of staking after Kraken's exchange's SEC settlement. It's not the future. If Gary Gensler wants to make staking illegal, you can pretty much shut down the future of the United States as involved with anything related to cryptocurrencies, even Bitcoin and blockchain type of entities. Because if he has the power to shut down such an amazing tool as staking, as Ethereum, as Theta, that's how Theta funds its validators and its guardians through staking. But he didn't say that. But people are misconstruing it. And Brian Adams over at Coinbase is trying to get people afraid. Don't be afraid. It's not what Gary Gensler said. And Gary he's not an idiot. But at the same time, he's trying to take control of a wild lion called cryptocurrencies that can never be controlled. You either shoot it and kill it in the United States, destroying the future of your country, or you let it run free. And I am a huge advocate of letting it run free. If people lose their money because they invested in the wrong crypto or were lied to, that's their fault. It's their fault. 100% their fault. People do get conned. People need to learn there is no safety net. The SEC is a false safety net. You shouldn't invest in the stock market because they front run every transaction. Virtu Financial is there to pick and scrape pennies off everything you do. And they manipulate, they lie, they cheat, they steal. And the SEC says, we need to bring them under our umbrella. Screw you. Bitcoin was invented to be outside of the system, not work with Gary Gensler and a criminal organization known as the Securities and Exchange Commission. So yeah. Now here's a really good article. Operation Choke Point 2.0 is underway, and crypto is in its crosshairs. I've been saying these operations are run out of the federal government for a very long time, because they have. I remember J.P. Morgan's Operation Silver Slam that happened in 2011, run right out of the White House. A guy named Bill Daley ran it for J.P. Morgan, and he was Obama's chief of staff. So yes, I've been saying every crypto smash we've seen, from Mt. Gox to the 2017-2018 crash, which was caused by the Mt. Gox bankruptcy trustee selling all his Bitcoin tokens, to this, which was a much more elaborate, much more well done by Gary Gensler. Allow people to give crazy profits, earn 30% by just giving me your tokens. Shit like that, and people fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. If you got lost in that game, you can blame Gary Gensler. And a lot of my friends were staking coins, giving their third parties to these crazy tokens, and people were staking it. People are investing in stable coins. It's insane. People, you need to use your minds. If it's not in your possession, you don't own it, and you have every right to lose it, no matter what Gary Gensler says. So, but here's some things. Operation 2.0. It's a good summary of all the Fed people, the FDIC people, the OCC people have been saying since December. Goes Elizabeth Warren, John King, John Marshall, send a letter to crypto-friendly bank Silverbank, scolding them for providing FTX services. These are the same people who are taking massive amounts of money from Sam Bankman-Fried. December 7th, Signature announces its intent to have deposits. January 3rd, the Fed, the FDIC, and the OCC released a joint statement on the risks to banks of engaging in crypto. That gives the banks cover to shut down crypto. By the end, there's going to be no in and out access within the United States to banks for crypto, which is going to be, it's going to set the United States of America way behind, because the rest of the world is saying, hey, if you want to give up the future of our monetary system, be my guest. They're laughing at Gary Gensler right now. And it goes down all these types of things. And yes, our government is against us. Our banks are against us. The regulators are against us, but we have tools to function on our own: gold, silver, and good cryptos. But they have to be in your own possession, or you will lose them. Do not hold your coins on Coinbase. Do not hold your coins on Kraken or Gemini. You will lose them, 100%. All right, how are the cryptos doing? They're down, of course, because that's the plan that Gary Gensler had all along. And when will it stop going down? I don't know. Have Bitcoin bottom? Bitcoin bottom will probably hit minus $40, just like oil hit minus $40. These exchanges aren't real. Everything's fake. You can tell by the volumes. In the last 24 hours, Tether, that criminal stablecoin, has traded $45 billion in the last 24 hours. It's the stupidest thing in the world. The full market cap, fully diluted with all the fake reserves, is $68 billion. So it's a lie. Everything's a lie in cryptos. So get your coins, get them off the exchanges, and wait for the destruction of the old system, because those cryptos will be extremely valuable if you pick the right ones, extremely valuable in the future. I'm loving Litecoin a hell of a lot more than I love Bitcoin. And we actually did a reading on Litecoin, or on Charlie Lee and Litecoin, with Jenny Moonstone. I'm going to be posting that a little later today for your weekend. Again, go to roadtoruta.com, click on subscribe today. That's how you join the private road at Road to Ruta, all the behind the scenes info. And we're going to send you one Veritasium token loaded on a paper wallet for non-crypto people. This is a great way to get a little crypto insurance. It really is like a crypto lottery ticket. Because if it is implemented at all our exchanges, like Reggie had planned, and the banks are taking it, it will probably be implemented after the system crashes, so that everybody knows we need something like Veritasium instead of the SEC. That's why the SEC hated Reggie. Then Veritasium will go to Cliff High's prediction of much higher than the price of Bitcoin. I added a much. He said higher than the price of Bitcoin. So go check it out, roadtoruta.com. 1-year subscriptions is $2.99. Renewals are $2.99. And we will send you the Veri token in the mail. All right? That's all I got. You guys have a good weekend. I'll be posting the private road Jenny section probably about 2 o'clock Pacific time. And check it out. Baby, my silver now.